Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 96 of the Everything Moto Racing podcast. I hope you've had a good weekend. Pre-warning, I've had a long weekend and I'm knackered, so this is going to be fun.
We'll struggle through. We'll do what we have to do, and then we'll go.
It's like nearly 10 p.m. at night. I'm running on empty. Yeah, this is going to be great. So, yeah, it is episode 96. I've got Cameron with me.
Just me again.
Just Cameron again. And I am after riders, please, with number 96.
Okay, so
There are two straight off the bat.
I've got a couple.
Nice.
Would you believe? We've got
I'm
Holgado.
impressed. Yeah.
We have Dixon,
Yeah.
and I believe we have.
There's a Grand Prix winner in there.
What's that?
There's a Grand Prix winner in there as well.
Oh God,
Just not Holgado. But yeah, we've got a what?
Jakob Schmerz.
Oh, yeah.
Schmerz?
Yeah, Jakob Schmerz,
Superbike. Is it Superbikes he was in? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember him on grainy
Yeah.
footage. Who's your Grand Prix winner?
Louis Rossi.
Oh, okay.
Won the French Grand Prix back in 2013, I think.
All right.
It was a race where everybody crashed, 13 riders in Moto3 finished, and Nicholas Io crashed 3 times and still scored points.
Bloody hell. Cool. Well, I think I did all right there.
well.
I had 3.
Yeah.
Normally I come up with nothing, so don't expect it every week.
Oh, yes. To be fair, there's only about 2 other riders that you could pick. There's Manuel Pagliani, who did used to race in the Moto3 World Championship, and to be honest, deserved a bit better. He was actually a pretty damn good rider and just got slapped with a shitty Mahindra, and that was it.
Nah, but that.
And we did miss last time, unfortunately. We did miss Taron McKenzie for 95.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Taron.
which is really annoying. 96, I can't think. There is one more, but I'm just trying to rack my brains now. Of 96. People are going to kill me for not thinking of another 96.
There'll be someone every week who
yeah,
jumps
I'm
at your
very
DMs.
tired.
Nah.
Oh yeah, of course. And to be fair, I appreciate people jumping in my DMs and going, "Bro, you missed this one." The last one is Jason Aguilar, God rest his soul, who passed away a couple of years ago in a mountain bike accident and was a Moto America Super Sport rider.
I remember. That was very sad.
Yeah, that was very sad. Jason was actually a very nice gentleman. And is sorely missed from the motorcycle racing community. So yes, God rest his soul. But yes, moving on from that, we've had a MotoGP weekend again. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it's been an eventful one, I feel.
Yes. Starting with the very eventful Thursday press conference. That wasn't a press conference.
Oh,
it was more of a chat with the media that Dorna decided we're going to make a press conference, an exceptional press conference, much to the dismay of Honda, who just wanted to have a media scrum with Marc Marquez to answer some questions. And Dorna, doing what they do best, decided, hey, you know what? Let's make some content. And made it a bit mad. Honda very quickly posted on Twitter to say that this was just a nice little media thing before the press conference was cancelled. We all thought he was going to retire.
Yeah, I was really 50-50. I was like, okay, he's retiring or he's announcing that he's parting ways with Honda at the end of the season and he's bought his
Especially
way
after
out.
what I said last podcast as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was it was the next day, wasn't it? Because we recorded the last one quite late, and then literally the next day it was like Marquez is having a conference, and we're like, oh shit, we had some hot takes last night, and they're coming to fruition. But alas, Dorna just being Dorna.
Yeah, well done, Dorna. We love you. Yeah, thankfully Marquez did not retire. And yeah, we can kind of, he seems okay. He's not going to race because he didn't race because there is a risk that he could break his bone again in his hand, which could end his career if he breaks it again.
And you have to say, that is quite the knife edge that he's on basically forever now, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, but not only that.
He's going to wait maybe, an extra couple of weeks, the nenext round's
Le Mans 2 weeks away. Yeah,
a couple of weeks away. Was he planning on being back for Le Mans? Did he say?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So I can't imagine that 2 weeks being. I mean, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I can't imagine that 2 weeks being the difference between there being a significantly lower chance of him breaking that bone again.
No.
I could be wrong, but
yeah, of course.
I feel like those couple of weeks, like I say, I can't imagine there being a huge difference in the chances of breaking that again in those 2 weeks. But it would be good to see him back and like in some kind of form again. I really hope we get that, because from what we've seen so far, with just the caliber of the grid at the moment, I feel like he would have a shot if he can come back and find some kind of form and consistency. The whole grid's so inconsistent so far this year that he could find himself in the title contention, to be honest. But I don't know. You never want to see someone languishing with an injury and then just sort of fading into obscurity, which obviously someone like Marquez never would just fade into obscurity, but you wouldn't want a career as illustrious as that to just sort of, I don't know, just simmer away and then die out. You know, I'd be sad to see that. It wouldn't be great for the sport, to be honest.
No, it would be terrible. It's a weird one, because you said about him being on a knife edge. He's also one crash away from screwing his eyes up again. He's one crash away from maybe snapping his arm again. He's one crash away from a lot of these things, which on one hand you're like, yeah, you know, bro, you are literally walking on a tightrope at this point. But in the same way, every rider on that grid is one crash away from something very serious.
Yep.
And that is obviously the risk they take. And Marquez specifically said that he couldn't race purely because it was more to do with the braking, as in braking when
the force,
you're slowing down, because they put about 5 Gs through their wrist when they brake, and that enough on a weak bone in his hand could be enough. So he's actually taken the recommended 6 to 8 weeks to recover from a broken bone, which is pretty much unheard of in MotoGP.
Yeah, especially Marquez.
Yes.
But he's an old man now. He's 30. So.
He is. He's hit 30 and he's gone, you know what? I'm going to be a sensible boy now.
Nothing to prove.
He's got nothing to prove. It would be nice to see him doing well, given that Johan Mir seems to have taken over Marquez's duties of crashing the bike every week. Because, what the hell's going on there?
No, it's very sad.
It is very sad to see a rider of caliber of Johan Mir doing what he's doing with that Honda right now.
Yeah. Champion 3 years ago, and now look at him. He's
I reckon he's fed up of it already, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if he was offered an out, he very much consider it.
Think about it.
He would. He absolutely would. God. Yeah, it's just such a shame. I don't really have many words for it other than it sucks to be Mir right now, doesn't it?
It really does.
He can't find any kind of rhythm or clearly feeling or anything with this bike, because it seems that as soon as he has to push in any way, ride the thing in any kind of anger, it's on the deck. He's done.
Yeah. And especially in race situations where, you are having to push and extract that extra 5% to try and gain a tenth or two on the rider ahead of you. And he just can't seem to do that without finding the flaw in some way, shape or form. Like you say, it's very sad to see a rider of his caliber doing that. But yeah, before we go more into the racing things, it's been obviously the return of Dani Pedrosa this weekend. And he was a superstar all weekend. I didn't expect anything from Dani Pedrosa. Yes, of course, he tested at Jerez recently, so he's kind of got that bit of edge on everybody. But I had no expectations, 15th, 14th, whatever. You're retired for years now. And it's just yes, he tested the other weekend. It was very competitive. but I just didn't expect anything. So for him to then lead practice in FP1, finish Friday 3rd overall, was like, what the hell's going on here, bro? Like, are we in 2023 or are we in 2012? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta love him. Everybody likes.
He's like
Danny
the best.
Well, he is. I mean, who else tested it? Yeah. He's such a legend.
Like,
even though
he said, and that parade thing, the Riders Parade that absolutely no one watches. Like, he said he nearly cried because all the riders were cheering him so hard, and then like Jack Miller grabbed him, put him on his shoulders, and was like, "Go away!" and like bounced him up and down. And apparently, Danny nearly cried because of it, because of how loved everybody was, much love everyone was showing him. And I was like, "Oh, Danny!"
If it can just be a staple for the Pedrosa wild card every year at Jerez, if that could just be a given, Dorna would sell a lot more video passes, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I think Danny doing this well at Jerez may open the door for some potential future wildcards at more circuits this year, maybe. Because he said it was one of the best weekends of his life. Of his life.
It's just nice to hear that it's not just the fans that got something out of the weekend, like that, being a sort of circus act and just being like, yes, let's bring out
roll him out.
Yeah, roll him out and everybody will enjoy seeing him. No, he actually came in and he took it to these young, fast riders that, the names he was ahead of in the main race as well, not just the sprint race. Obviously, Fabio, Franco, Alex Marquez as well, who's on a Ducati.
Yeah.
Ahead of that. What a guy. Love it.
Yeah.
I love that man so much.
He's just the best.
Yeah. No, it was great to see. And I mean, who else tested at Jerez recently? Was it just
Top
KTM?
Rack.
Top Rack. Oh, okay.
Bradle tested, I'm sure of it. Savadori tested as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of a test teams. It wasn't like...
Yeah.
The only rider that also raced was Bradle, I believe. So
right. I mean, say Crutchlow wildcarded for whatever reason, and he was there.
I would not be mad with that. I would not be mad.
However, he would not have been as close to to Quartararo Morbidelli as Pedrosa was to Brad and Jack. Do you know what I mean?
Who were
on the
like
same bike.
P1, P2 for most of the weekend.
Yeah, Crutchlow would not have been able to be on the same kind of
like in comparison to the other guys on the same bike. Kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He would have been way back,
I think 15th, 16th.
Folger and he'd have been back at that end, wouldn't he? Really?
Yeah.
And clearly the KTM worked at Jerez this week, which really helped, I'm sure. However, you can't say that the GP22 that Alex Marquez is on doesn't work at Jerez, and he was ahead of him. So
yeah,
it's been great. It's just added like an extra element of spice to this weekend that's made it just like, for me, it's been my favorite round so far this year. Obviously, this is what, round 4? Is it 4?
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, it's round 4. And the flyaways are always a wee bit weird. But Portimao can quite often be special, and it wasn't, even though it's the first race of the season. I don't know. There's been like a special atmosphere this weekend. The racing's been great.
Nice.
Pedrosa's been back. Everything's been good.
Rossi was there. As contentious as that is for some people for some reason.
Yeah. But like the only thing that could have maybe put a slight cloud on things this weekend was the stewards. But all things considered.
Oh my God, like Twitter went into a frenzy. And I'm not just talking like Twitter, like every Tom, Dick and Harry, like whatever. I loaded up Twitter, right? Because I didn't watch any of the races live. I loaded up Twitter and refreshed. And the first things I saw was Keith Hewen
Oh, God.
Everything crazy, MotoGP, stop it. This is crazy. Brilliant riders bike a track and people polishing a chair with their bum are killing us. Michael van der Mark, what a joke.
Oh.
Loris Baz, what a joke these penalties are. If you want people to stop liking the sport, you could do not anything better than this. I'm like, bro.
Whoa.
What is going on?
Bloody hell. Wow.
Yeah.
It was savage, though. They were on it this weekend. It's like they can't find a balance of being, obviously having consistent punishments and consistent, rules. But at the same time, like, what the hell was going on this weekend? It was like they were vexed. The heat got to them. I don't know what was happening.
Well, like, what was it? Neil Hodgson said, he was like, you're trying to make MotoGP more competitive. You're trying to make it better racing. You're trying to do all these things. And then you're punishing riders for then racing and actually overtaking people and actually doing these things. Like, you have these sprint races that are going to be all action and then, oh no, Pecco and Jack touched. Oh no. Like, it's like, oh, it's so pathetic. Like, what are you doing? Like, back in the day, you look at Jerez and you instantly think of Rossi and Gibernau or Doohan and Crivier or Marquez and Lorenzo that never were penalised. Yep. And now Jack and Pecco touch slightly and, oh no, poor Pecco.
He's got to give it back. Yeah,
you've got to now give the position back because you've, done an overtaking a race and it was a bit aggressive. What did they say? Robbins Racing. What did Ayrton Senna say? If you never go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver. And it's like, these are like aspects that are the core of motorcycle racing. Yeah. People like motorcycle racing over car racing because the overtakes are dramatic, because riders do bump fairings and put blimmin' tyre marks all down the side of riders of leathers and do these things, and they stay on because they're the best riders in the world and they're not taking each other out. If Pecco had shot past Miller, sent him into the gravel or knocked him off, fair enough.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He just gave him a little love tap. And that was it.
He went for the gap. And that was it. There was a gap there, albeit a small one. He went for it. Jack kind of knew it was going to happen as well. Because if he didn't, it would have been a crash, to be honest. Because they would have hit with a lot more force. They've got the
instinct, though. They know that they're there.
Exactly. You can hear it, and he sort of knows, like, I went a bit wide. I'm going to expect the guy who is,
that's what you do,
right behind me to be taking advantage of that. And it almost feels like, in a way, you know how, like, I don't want to reference football, but I'm gonna. But for kind of the right reasons, in a way. So, in football, like, they make more drama out of an incident to try and get the perpetrator penalized, in a way.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like if Jack hadn't, like, swung his hand out and been like, what the fuck was that? And just carried on and was just racing, I don't think anything would have happened. And I'm not saying Jack did that intentionally, like a footballer diving or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that if Miller hadn't protested in any way, and similarly, if Pecco hadn't sort of put out his hand to apologise.
Pecco said sorry, didn't he?
Yeah. If neither of those sort of interactions happened, almost acknowledging that a bit of shithousery just happened, then I don't think we would have heard anything of it. It just would have been one of those, it was a slightly sketchy pass, but whatever, we're over it. But because both riders gesticulated in such a way, that said, like, that was maybe a little bit rough, whatever. Maybe that's why we got the penalty.
In the same way, though, like, although I appreciate that completely and get that, if that is the case, then you're going to have riders trying to do things in order to divert the attention away from stewards to avoid getting penalised.
Yeah.
And it's then becomes a thing where it's like riders versus stewards. It's not because a rider's actually done something wrong. It's because riders are pretending like nothing wrong has happened to try and avoid a stupid penalty. And, like, I don't understand that. And then you look at Fabio Quartararo, who's just absolutely bullied by the... Like, I, like, don't think Fabio did anything wrong. 3 went into 1, lines converged, people crossed lines, Fabio just got stuck in the middle and sandwiched in the middle. You know, you go back to Jerez with Danny Pedrosa, Dovi, and Jorge Lorenzo years ago.
Yeah.
3 lines converged and they all went down.
Mm-hmm.
The similar thing
got a long
happened
lap
today.
penalty out of that?
No one got penalised.
Exactly.
Because it was a racing incident.
Because it happens. And like, it was first lap, turn 2. And turn 2 on at Jerez is notoriously tricky to fit, 20 MotoGP bikes through.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And it was a sprint race. So everyone's probably pushing and a little bit more.
You're on about that
eager.
one. I'm on about the main race event. The Fabio.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was thinking that was.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one again.
Oh my God. What's happening?
There were so many crashes.
This weekend's been nuts. Where am I?
Thankfully, I've only just watched the races. So
that's
it's
true.
the one where Fabio, Miguel Oliveira, and Bezzecchi tangled.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because that red flagged the main race, didn't it? And then they started again. That's why in my head
because
it
was
like
a red flag
race.
race.
Yeah. No, my bad. Okay. Yes. Still though, first lap is going to be, and you know, Fabio knows he's faster than where he qualifies. So he's probably going to be one to push a little bit more, but
it was one of his worst qualifyings in his career.
Yeah.
In MotoGP career, that is.
And especially compared to his Jerez record of qualifying.
Which is like first, second, 16th.
Something like that. Yes,
Thanks
exactly. Well, I heard an interesting thing saying that Fabio, when he first came to the GP paddock and was first at Jerez, he was regularly in those 126s.
Yeah.
And it was rare for him to be doing a 126 this weekend.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. And like, come on, Yamaha, what is happening here? Fabio's not going slower. He's a better rider now than he wasn't. When did he come? 2018, 2019?
It came 2019, yeah.
2019, yeah. He's got to be better now than he was in 2019.
Yeah. Like, you'd hope so.
Yeah. He won't, he's certainly not lost half a second a lap in his ability around that circuit, but the bike has. Even though it's now got wings, it's got ride height devices, yada, yada. It's not working. I said it a few weeks ago. He just give him back his 2019 bike. He seemed to be quick on that.
Like, if you look at the lap times, because if you're saying like he was doing like 137s back then, consistently, 136,
26, I believe, is it not?
It's 36. 26 will be 10 seconds under the lap record, yeah.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
But yeah, if he was doing like, say, 36s around the track, and now they're doing 37s still, with the all-time lap record being a 36.1, then give him the old bike back. Like, because in a simple way of the fact that he could pull that lap time out on a bike that's a few years old. Like, yes, of course, they've kind of developed and grown over that time, but if you can do it on that old bike, then it doesn't really matter. Like, it'd
be so interesting to see Fabio have a go on an old 2019 Yam. Yeah. And just A/B it. We would never, ever get to see any kind of results like that. I mean, the bikes probably don't exist anymore for a start, but we'd never even get to know any kind of result like that, because it would probably show that Yamaha has made absolutely fuck all progress in the last...
Which is what the riders have said.
3 or 4 years, exactly. And it would prove it. I mean, we kind of can A/B it anyway between Fabio's lap times over the last few years. Everyone else has likely gotten faster and kind of caught up to where Fabio maybe was a few years ago at Jerez.
Yeah.
But Fabio should have also incrementally increased with them. And it's just...
Yeah, and he's just not. It's like he stood still and everyone's going past him.
Yep, basically. He's... and Jerez is normally where his season starts to come into its own as well. And it's just not.
Yeah, it's terrible,
it's worrying, actually, because if it doesn't work at Jerez, that Yamaha's not going to work many places.
No, especially not Mugello. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
but like,
he's up a creek, mate.
He really is. But the thing with Fabio, like, taking it back on, like, that crash was not a penalty. And then not only that, he had a long lap penalty for something that he didn't need one for. And then I'm taking notes from the BT Sport commentary here as well, because it made some very valid points. Then when he's doing the long lap penalty, he's gone wide at the end because he's looking at the track to make sure that he doesn't run on and hit somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, where does the bar lie? Like, you can't expect one rider to be staring at between two fucking white lines on the ground, pull onto the track and smack into anybody else who's right in his way because he's trying to make sure that he doesn't, go outside these lines.
Yeah.
But then penalise them for that, because then you can't win.
Well, that's it. I mean, so he was re-entering the track safely. He was making sure he was doing that by, obviously looking at what was coming. And as a result, he strayed just over that white line,
about
right
3
at the
inches
end as
over
well.
it,
Pretty much onto the rumble strip, really.
Yeah.
Granted, if you're going to be black and white about it, then yes. He did go on the green.
Yeah.
But because he was re-entering safely and there was no advantage gained as well. So you have to think, it almost has to boil down to what is the point of those green, the green patches in the first place? What's the point of the boundary? Is it to showcase what would be an unfair advantage if this is what they deem? Because I mean, where Fabio rode onto on that long lap penalty obviously gave him no advantage, and the only reason he did so is because he was making sure he was re-entering the track safely. So I don't know. But then obviously the other side of it is people are saying that the stewards need to be more consistent, and they can't sort of, because if he got away with it, if someone picked up on it, they'd been like, oh, it's because it's Fabio. They let him away with it. You know what I mean?
That's where the issue lies, yeah.
It is, yeah. And
you have to be consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we always go, they're not consistent. And then when they are consistent, we're like, oh yeah, but like, it's stupid that they've done that. But then it's like, but they're being consistent. But it's like, if you just completely remove these stupid penalties in the first place and just kind of stop making the impossible, like expecting riders to do the impossible, like, I'm still very intrigued though. I don't know the specifics, and I don't have a copy of it. I do have a copy of this. Where is this? Right. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to try and find this and continue this podcast without stopping.
What are you talking about?
You'll see in a minute.
Oh my God.
I am very intrigued. When did I post it? When was the last race? 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
What date was that? The 15th. Right, okay. I'm just going on my camera roll quickly to try and find, why am I in December 2022?
I don't know.
Screen.
Were things better back then?
No, to be honest.
Same.
Things did change out 6 days after that, so that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. When did... Right, hold on. This is great listening for the podcast, isn't it? Like, hope you're all enjoying listening to me...
flick through your camera reel. Yeah.
Let's just go on the Everything Moto Racing story archive, because it'll probably be on there.
Okay, so it was one of your posts, right?
Yes. Right. Stories archive from the 15th of April. Here we go. Right. Oh. So,
you've got me so intrigued here. What's happening?
You know the whole Marc Marquez saga with his little long lap penalties thing?
Yeah.
David Munoz got a long lap penalty for Jerez got a long lap penalty at the Circuit of Americas, which he would have to have done at Jerez.
Yes.
Because that was the next race.
Yeah.
And Marc Marquez's thing had clearly written at the Republic of Argentina. David Munoz did not race today because he was injured. And so I've gone back to read the sanction to just see if they'd written about the Grand Prix of Jerez again. But they have written the long lap penalty, double long lap penalty, will be served by the rider at the next Grand Prix in which the rider participates.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, and then the FIM just basically said the next race will be the Jerez race unless the rider does not participate in this. So, Marc Marquez's little shenanigans and Honda's little shenanigans have actually made them reevaluate the way they do these penalties and have actually changed it for the better.
Well, there you go.
So I'm wondering if enough people can kick off about these freaking penalties and riders like kicking off about them being unfair, if they can actually take a look into them and maybe create like a set of more specific rules. Like I know it's very specific, hard because most incidents can be, quite unique from one another.
Yeah,
but most incidents share similarities. If you can categorize it, for example, rider knocks other rider off, and there's clearly deliberate fault. Rider knocks other rider off, but it looks like a racing incident, or rider was riding recklessly, knocks another rider off. Categorize them and punish people on that. So you can go, okay, that was a category 6 crash. Therefore, they get a long lap penalty for this. Or that was a category 4 crash, meaning no action taken because of it being a racing incident. Like, instead of just kind of guessing and not having that consistency, why don't they just kind of try and create a more strict set of guidelines for these guys? Because it's like they just make things up on the spot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense a lot of the time.
The thing with the term racing incident is that it's so ambiguous.
Yeah, it's like it's a massive umbrella term, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I think it's so difficult, isn't it? Because, people who, I don't know, everyone's just got a different take on what they would class as a racing incident. You've got like Loris Capirossi in there.
Everyone's got
that's it. Capirossi, who's one of the stewards. Is he like head steward or something? I don't know. I always see him kicking about.
I think he's a safety officer more than anything. It's Freddie Spencer, who's one of the, who's one of the guys who gives out the
dishes out.
Yeah, dishes out the shit, basically.
Narc. Yeah, because everyone will have a different take on what they would class as a racing incident. If they were a racer, it would depend how they used to race. Do you know what I mean? What they thought was acceptable. If bloody Munoz ends up a steward, everything would be a racing incident. It's such an ambiguous term. Yeah, you almost do need to come up with, you need to get definitions. You need to get these sort of definitions lined up of what is reckless riding, what is a racing incident,
what is just
if you're going to categorize them. Exactly. Like this all needs discussed. And are they not having a meeting with the riders or something?
They can't really do it in the middle of a race, like have a meeting with a rider, which I get. But then...
No, I mean like afterwards. I'm sure I read something that
they often
some riders
do have meetings.
I don't know.
Yeah. Riders will like go to them and go, what the frick was that? Like Cal Crutchlow years ago in Argentina when he did that jump start that wasn't really a jump start, and he said in the paddock, he was like, Freddie Spencer, you're a but then he went to Freddie Spencer and was like, said to his face, he was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It was like Freddie Spencer's first race as well as the safety person. But like, it's just weird, and it seems like everybody has an issue with it. Like I said, even professional riders and ex-Grand Prix riders have a problem with the stewarding, and it is taken away from the racing, and it is destroying the racing, because Fabio Quartararo at Aston last year had the incident and he said the same. Like, you want good racing, you want close racing, then you give them close racing and you give riders us good racing, and then you punish riders for doing exactly that. Like, just let them race.
Yeah.
And if there's really, I think people should be punished if they're making a very obvious and massive error. Like Fabio, of course, has been involved in an accident that has injured Miguel Oliveira. But you have to look at the whole picture he was sandwiched in because Morbidelli moved Bezzecchi over. Bezzecchi then was in the way with Miguel Oliveira and crunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had nowhere to go. What was he supposed to do? Just keep back in case he gets sandwiched in.
And he's not going to break out because he's freaking racing.
Yeah, that's it. And then all that means is someone will take advantage of his hesitation, and I don't know. He could get swiped out from the inside. You just don't know, and that's a racing incident for sure.
And if you brake too early, a rider might crash into the back of you.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You got the first couple of corners at these tracks, especially somewhere like Jerez. I'd say even for we've got T1, T2, T3, probably right up until T5 on the first lap of a MotoGP race. These guys have it'll just be blind faith that something is not going to go wrong behind them, next to them, or in front of them that'll wipe them out. after that back straight, that's when things might spread out a little bit. But yeah, first 5 turns of somewhere like Jerez, it's just blind faith and almost luck whether you get out there. And so you just got to push as hard as you can and hope. And unfortunately, that did mean today that Oliveira, what was it, a dislocated humerus?
Dislocated humerus of the shoulder. Like, he has no luck this season, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like, someone give this guy a break. He's like easily one of the fastest guys on that grid right now. Yep. Seriously could be contending for some really good results. But he just, he first race of the season, gets smashed into, can't finish the race, can't even race a second race. Mm-hmm. Then third race, he comes back. He's injured. Fourth race, smash, injured again. But someone, maybe he's like, he's too good, right? We got to stop him now.
Well, this is like the thing with Oliveira is, I think if he'd been able to race these first 3 rounds, he would have had enough consistency and he would have been fast everywhere that he probably would have been up at the sharp end of the championship for sure, because he'd been able to build the momentum. He's clearly working well on that Aprilia. And I think if he'd been able to build some momentum and some confidence, I think he could have been on the podium today. I don't know, the KTMs look nuts, but Oliveira is clearly a force to be reckoned with on this Aprilia. And I think I think Vinales has been slipping everyone, or Aleix has been slipping everyone 20 quid here and there to keep him off his factory seat, basically. We love a conspiracy here.
Don't we? Yeah, jeez. Fucking hell. But yeah, going on to that other incident though, in the sprint race.
I can't even remember
that
what
had
happened.
Not Vinales, Marquez, Bezzecchi.
Oh, and Morbidelli.
Like, I haven't seen too much about it, to be honest, but like that again, I would say that is a rider's fault. Because it looked like Morbidelli pushed Bezzecchi.
Yeah, I couldn't even really tell what the hell happened there. Just, again, it was a turn 2 skirmish. Like, it all just got a little bit weird.
It's racing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Nobody obviously was intentionally trying to, impede another rider and, like, cause them harm, obviously.
Yeah.
And I probably, because it was Morbidelli that got the penalty from that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are many things that Morbidelli is, but a reckless rider is not one of them. And yet, he gets dished a penalty. I don't know. To be honest, I can barely remember the accident.
Yeah, it's been so much carnage. Like, I'm just trying to get video of it now. From BT Sport, MotoGP's Twitter, because Dorna didn't post it, which is great.
Classic.
Yeah, because Alex Marquez crashed twice. Jesus Christ.
I know. He did not have the weekend that his form has been suggesting it would have.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So look, right, Bezzecchi's bike was on fire.
Good. Again.
Yeah, I can't find a clip to actually go through with it. Which is great. Oh, wait, here we go. Right then.
Audio description, please.
So, they go around the corner.
Oh, good.
Which is crazy because they're on the racetrack. I'm just trying to find. Yeah, so Morbidelli is on the inside of Alex Marquez.
Yes.
The lines converge because Alex Marquez moves up closer to where Morbidelli was, which caused Morbidelli to go down, hitting Marquez, which eventually caused Bezzecchi to then hit Marquez's bike. So what was, again, 2 lines converging and Alex Marquez moving up into where Morbidelli was. Again, just lines converging. So again, after
just
reviewing the footage,
chaos.
I don't think that is a penalty.
No. And it's not like, it's not like the likes of Munoz and that, where they were starting to show form and disregard and, a bit of like disregard for the fellow racers.
Not giving a shit, yeah.
Exactly. clearly not. They're not having to rein reckless behavior in here.
No,
it's turn 2 at Jerez on the first lap of these races, and both unjust penalties, if you ask me.
But
here we are. Here we are. What a spicy weekend it's been.
Oh yeah, right. Let's stop talking about penalties and talk about the actual racing and the race weekend. Well, I'm very, 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 very impressed with Jack Miller this weekend. Everybody, I say everybody, I'm going to take that back. A lot of people. I run social media accounts for MotoGP and saw a lot of people basically saying that Jack Miller's career is over. That's it, especially in the test when he finished 22nd on that KTM. And they're like, that's it, he's done, he's over, his career's finished. Oh my God, he was good this weekend.
He was very good.
He loves that KTM, doesn't he?
He's clearly enjoying it, I think. And do you know what? He's probably got way less pressure on his shoulders now than he would have in the factory team, even though he was playing second fiddle. And, you know, I know he's technically the number 2 rider in the squad at the moment, right? Isn't he?
He was in Ducati as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. But he probably feels less second fiddle at the moment now, you know, even though he's technically...
Brad are very much level pegging, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, that's it. Brad's probably just number 1 rider, just through sort of seniority within the squad, you know. It's
just
he's
been there before.
Forever.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. But they're both incredibly entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
They're both hella fast on this KTM. I don't know what they've managed to do this year.
This weekend specifically,
but,
like what?
Like, I know KTM played an absolute blinder getting Jack Miller in, to be honest.
Yeah, they did.
The combination of having Pedrosa as a test rider, having, you know, Miller come in, say, you know, with all of that information from the factory Ducati squad, and then having Brad with balls the size of New York.
Yeah.
I think it's clearly a winning, literally, combo now. Obviously not for Jack Miller yet, but I think it's coming this year. He's good at Le Mans. If it's wet as well at Le Mans, I could see Miller having a good time, because the KTM we know is good in the wet. Jack is pretty good in the wet. He's good at Le Mans. It's could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a matter of time until Miller gets a race win.
That's it. Like, I think he's going to do it before Vinales at this rate. I think he could definitely win that third race on the third manufacturer before Vinales.
I think so. Yep.
Like,
I think
what
Miller's
the hell? So 4 races, like.
Yeah, I know. Miller's more mentally able to.
Yeah, because he just doesn't give a shit. Like, Vinales is like stressed all the time, as we know. Like,
what are you doing?
Bro could be wearing a different color boxers that morning, and then suddenly he's fucking 18th because of it, you know, like. Whereas Miller just doesn't care, and he also had the thing about if he wins this weekend, he'll get a new boat, which obviously, unfortunately, he won't get a new boat.
I think he deserves one anyway, to be honest.
I would say he deserves a boat. I think Ruby should allow him to buy a boat.
I think so.
But like he has that laid back attitude though, where it's just like whatever, you know. And Vinales and Miller couldn't be any more different because of that.
Yeah, that's it. And I think on a good day, Vinales is probably the faster rider
by a mile, I will say.
Yeah. However, that good day, in inverted commas, is
once a year.
Yeah, it's once a year, and it's never on race day, you know?
Yeah.
So
it might be on a Thursday afternoon when he's not actually riding or something like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's got that rep, hasn't he, as the qualifying or free practice king or the testing king. But it rarely clicks on a Sunday. What was the last race he won? Qatar
2021.
21? Yeah, which is a long time ago now.
It is. But as we saw today, riders can win in 2021 and then go win again in 2023. So.
Yes, they can. Is that you segueing, or are we staying on this subject?
We're staying on MotoGP for now, but I thought I'd make a nice little reference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, Jack's clearly, I think he's able to he's able to just sort of switch off when he puts the helmet on and just ride whatever he's got as fast as he can.
He can ride. He reminds me of Casey Stoner in the way that he can ride around kind of problems and things.
Issues. Because that KTM won't be perfect at the moment.
Absolutely
Far from it. It's like you say, it's round 4. Considering where they were at preseason testing, they've got work to do for sure. However, it looks like, I don't know, compared to every other bike, they can throw it into the most mental of shapes, and it doesn't go down.
Like Binder did, like at the end of a straight, and it was like sideways while his knee was dragging on the floor. Then Jack Miller into the last corner and Jorge Martin. And you're like, what the frick is going on?
Like Brad Binder's pass on Miller. Oh my God. It was like watching a Brandon Pash reel.
Yeah, you're like,
it was mental.
Yeah, literally.
I can't believe it. Yeah, because he was like, he clunked off the steering lock like twice coming in there, right?
Yeah.
He was sideways. Unbelievable.
Like, what the hell, dude? Like the talent that them two have. Like I fully believe if Binder was on a Ducati, bruh, no one would have a chance. But ifs and buts and all that.
That's it.
I do know why Miller was so good this weekend. It's because on Friday I set my phone background as a photo of Jack Miller.
That's it. So,
yeah, it's not shown on the camera for you to see, Cameron. But there you go.
I remember. I'm sure I saw you like post about it on your socials
on my Instagram story.
Yeah. I noticed that. Well, yeah, when I spoke to Jack at the weekend, when he gave me a call, he was like, when Deck
Declan actually put me as his background screen, and that was it. Like,
yeah, he was like, that's it, that's the one. And I said, like, go on, mate, that's the one.
Yeah, but
pals.
Yeah, but he does look really good. So did Binder. But I said it last time out, and I'm glad that he kind of stuck to his word and actually proved me right. Francesco Bagnaia could not afford a crash this weekend.
No.
He could not afford one. He had to go and win this weekend for any sort of credibility against his name as being a genuine title contender this weekend.
Yeah.
But this season, he had to go and win the race because I love Bezzecchi. He's great, but he's not a title contender. Yes, he won a race, but he's not going to be that consistent, unfortunately.
No, he's not.
And I can't see him doing it over 20 rounds now that Kazakhstan's cancelled.
Yeah.
Bagnaia obviously is, and he went and proved that by winning the race this weekend and getting on the podium in the sprint race as well. Wasn't he second, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was second. I think the return to Europe
helped him a lot.
It shows
his girlfriend being at the
trajectory.
track. His girlfriend being at the track will have helped dramatically.
Yep.
And we say that like, oh, he's like he even said on that MotoGP documentary, like he literally got his girlfriend out of work by ringing her boss and was like, I need her at Sepang this weekend.
Yep.
Get her out of work. She was in the paddock this weekend and suddenly Pecco didn't crack. Last 2 races when she wasn't in the paddock, Pecco cracked.
Mm-hmm. It's so fickle with Pecco.
His mentality is so fragile. It's like Vinales.
It is. And it's... I don't get it. And it's like he what's the word I'm looking for? He can only win when he's not supposed to.
Yeah. When no one expects him to win, he can win.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
he just like comebacks, really, doesn't he?
He does. That's exactly it. He's like he
just wants to be the star of the show.
Yeah, he needs that fuel of like having to go through Q1 and everyone being like, oh, Pecco didn't get straight through. What's going on? And like he can almost channel that into speed and being able to stay on the fucking bike. So, I don't get it, but he rode a great race, and I think to beat the KTMs this weekend was quite a task, and he did it, to be fair. So hats off.
He did super, super, super well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for him because he's now the championship leader again. But now he's the championship leader. It's expected of him to do well. And he crashed in Le Mans last year.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Chasing Bastianini, who could not race this weekend after trying because his injuries were so severe still, which is a very big shame. And I can't see him fighting for the championship anymore unless he can actually come back at Le Mans and Mugello and actually scrap for the championship.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to come back winning.
It would help if Le Mans is wet, because obviously that's less physical. Obviously, I think it's more mentally draining riding in the wet than physically.
Yeah.
Because of the concentration and the precision and the sort of you've got to be absolutely so like smooth and precise for the entire race. And it is a leveler. It takes that, it's like when Marquez first came back, he was hoping for wet races so it's not as brutal on his body. And I think it would be good. To be fair though, Bastianini isn't known as a wet weather rider, is he, to be honest?
He's just, Bastianini's just known as being Bastianini, I think. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like sometimes when it comes together, there's like nobody faster than him. But I don't know, it would be nice if he can get back into the racing with a wet race, I think, just so that it's more of a gentle,
like
not really
push.
gentle, but you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's not suddenly coming into a dry sprint race, especially somewhere like Le Mans where there's some pretty savage elevation changes and there's a lot of heavy braking and stuff. So yeah, if he can get back in a wet race, just plug away, get the feel back, get more data, because it's all about data, it seems. I think that's the only way the Pecco was able to win today was because of data, to be honest.
Potentially, yeah.
It's the only way you can turn a weekend around like that.
No, it's because he won, because you knew I predicted him to win, obviously.
Oh, did you? I dare.
Because I said in the last podcast, he must win this weekend.
I hate you.
Yeah, I put my money where my mouth was there. But I feel so bad. Firstly, stay on Pecco quickly. Unbelievable move from him around the outside to gain third over Jorge Martin, which was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then another overtake to take the lead off Brad Binder. Both of them really, he was riding out of his skin today.
Yeah, you had to push. You really had to push.
Super good riding.
I was waiting for him to bin it, to be honest. When you got someone like Binder behind you.
Yeah, the pressure, because know he's going to go for it.
This is it.
If anyone's going to go for it, it's Binder or it's Miller.
Exactly. Yeah. If there's one person that would stress you into crashing that thing, it's one of those guys.
It's not fucking Alex Rins.
It's not Alex Rins on a Honda. But anyway, that's last week's pod.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just... I feel sorry for Maverick Vinales for losing that chain on the last lap as well.
Yeah, is that what happened? All I saw
chain
was
got
Jesus.
On the last lap.
Aprilia reliability things coming back. I thought they were gone, man.
Apparently, though, Alicia's little problem with his ride height device wasn't his fault, according to him, as Rivola, and that the bike did what it should have done on the first lap. But Aleix crashed regardless. Basically, blame it on Aleix. Just like Pecco, when he blamed the freaking bike in Kota and then came out in the press conference and was like, actually, after reviewing it, it was my fault and I need to take more responsibility for it. Yes, you freaking do, bro.
Mm-hmm. Have some humble pie, sir.
Yes.
But at least he did that. Back in the day, back in your sort of Biaggi days and that, it would have been like, that was the bike, sorry. I reviewed it and the bike made me that wide, The bike made me a foot off of line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, randomly just seen a tweet from Sofa Racer 3 minutes ago on Twitter. And it's like 3 photos that Nikki Kovacs shot. And they are outstanding. Go on, anybody listening, go on the Sofa Racer account and look at the Sunday RF. You can read several photos. There's one of Pecco on the grid. I'm putting them in the chat so you can look at them, Cameron. shaking hands with Valentino before the race, and you can just see the freaking like, whoa.
What?
Like, look at the, you know, like that's a freaking sick photo. You know, just like the, you know, their facial reactions, like, go and fucking win this shit, bro. You know?
Yeah.
And then this one, there's Sam Lowe's and his wife and his daughter. That's absolutely adorable.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the best one of the entirety of the paddock,
whoa,
clapping a legend going down pit lane earlier.
That's it. Yeah.
The entire paddock cheering for Danny Pedrosa. I love it.
Like, what are Mark VDS doing there? They just are,
yeah, and Aspar in the background, you know.
Yep.
It just shows how much of a legend Danny is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it.
That's just my ADHD kicking in there. Sorry about that, everybody.
I love Danny.
Yeah, it's just great. But yeah, well, I think we've discussed everything from MotoGP.
I think so. Morbidelli, again, disappointing.
But Fabio was also equally as down the order, but obviously he had $2 on that penalty. So
he did, and he still beat him by 2 seconds. Come on.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be where Morbidelli's style and everything works, but we have discussed how crap the Yamaha is. Lecuona was there, you know, with a full time. Why
we've missed Lecuona.
Yeah, like Lecuona was less than half a second behind Raul Fernandez.
Yeah, he did really well, to be fair. Given the fact that he's not ridden a MotoGP bike in years.
Well, he stayed on the Repsol Honda, which seems to be a nigh on an impossible task.
job. Well, Rins and bloody Mir can't even do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean, he was ahead of Folger, which...
Yeah.
I mean, Folger at least has experience on the bike, right? He's the test rider.
Yeah, I mean, he got a MotoGP podium years ago, and he knows the KTM quite well.
Knows it quite well, whereas Lecuona, I think that's respectable.
That's a very respectable. It's nice to see a 27 on a Honda as well.
Stoner. I think the fact they nearly got a point, I think, is hilarious, to be honest.
It's genuinely impressive. Like,
yeah.
I was
had more points than Bastianini.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Do you want to know something really sad as well?
Go on then.
I've been the one that's updated Lecuona's Wikipedia page this weekend. Like, I was the one that posted the return to MotoGP 2023. Lecuona was selected to race Marquez, and then I updated his Grand Prix season to add the 2023 in. I updated his 2023 season on the races by year, added the position, the race, color, and all that. Yeah, I don't have a life.
That is... I hope that serves you well on a CV one day, honestly.
Yeah. Well, if it helps, I've been making Wikipedia pages for motorbike racers, so I guess it just ties them with that, I guess.
That's fair. You're going to make me one?
No, because you're not a motorbike racer or a notable person, Cameron.
I think I'm a notable person.
Okay.
Depends who you ask.
True.
Don't ask
your
my
wife and she'll say you're very notable, maybe. I don't know.
No.
Okay. No. Anyway, moving on. Moto 2. Sam Lowe's.
I mean,
masterclass.
Where did that come from? To beat Acosta by 3 seconds, 3 seconds in his own backyard, really?
Outstanding.
Yeah, that really. Yeah, that's really nice. That was very, very impressive. I hope he can continue it, because Jerez is generally a fairly good barometer for how the season's going to go.
Yeah.
I hope he can continue it without snapping an ankle or a wrist or whatever.
Oh, he's so unlucky, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's just shown it again, hasn't he? He is one of the fastest guys on the grid.
Yeah,
when it works. Yeah, by a mile. You know, he was. When you think Ralph Fernandez and Remy Gardner, when they were here, their pace was. I think it's been shown to be generally a bit quicker than the current crop of Moto2 riders. And Sam
by a mile.
Sam was just as quick as Remy and Raul, really, when it worked. But he kept having bad luck or getting injured or So if Sam can find the consistency, then I see no reason why he couldn't fight for the title. But Pedro Acosta is just proven to be an absolute force to be reckoned with, isn't he? He's so consistently fast.
Well, I believe he now leads the championship, doesn't he?
He does, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, he leads it by 0 points.
Yeah.
Leads it on race wins, I think, on podiums. So, yeah, Pedro Costa, though, is like the real deal, as we know.
He is.
I think we need to talk more about him because we've talked enough about him. I think people are sick of him, but I love the fact that he was climbing the fence earlier. I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
He's just a kid. He's just a kid.
He's just a kid. He's 18, maybe 19 now.
And he's just so a kid. Fast, man. Yeah, get him on that KTM. He's probably watching what's happening this weekend. I'm like,
actually, you know what? Put him on KTM.
Yeah, that's it. He's probably watching what's happening this weekend and thinking, okay, I'm quite fancy this KTM now. Sold the Repsol Honda. Right. All these rumors. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, let's take the KTM now.
KTM's looking good. However, Brad and Jack are also looking very good, and it's going to be hard to take their seat, I think.
Yeah, unless you get him on a gas plate in Polo Spargo.
Well, that... we discussed this last week, didn't we? That's very much a possibility, to be honest.
Also, I've looked on... So, carry on.
No, I was going to say, with some kind of guarantee to get into the factory seat maybe in a few years when Binder's... It's probably going to be Binder, right? That
I hope not. I hope not. I don't want either of them to go, to be honest.
They're such characters. They really bring life to the paddock, those two. But
yeah.
No, I think, he's destined for MotoGP, isn't he? So, but
100%. Yeah.
KTM's looking good. Yamaha's looking shit. Honda's looking shit. Like, where do you stick him? Where do you put him? To be honest, he could end up with Ralph Fernandez's seat.
He could, because Ralph Fernandez is not cutting the mustard, and neither is Digia.
No, neither of them are, unfortunately. No. I was really hoping that Fernandez would take to
I thought he was going to freaking smash it out of the park in this Aprilia.
The fact that Augusto is outperforming him, I think is mental.
That's absolutely mental. It's embarrassing, I've got to say.
It is, considering that...
Because Raul destroyed Augusto.
Wiped the floor. In
Moto2.
Yep. And this RNF Aprilia works. Miguel showing it every week. It's clearly a rideable bike that's very fast. I mean, Vinales in LA showed it's a fast bike last year. And I got to say, Raul's and RNF aren't scared to sack a rider, I don't think, to be honest. So
no, they're not. After 1 year, they don't give a shit.
No. He could end up with a juicy Aprilia offer there as well. Someone's going to snap him up.
We'll be stupid not to,
Exactly.
One last thing before we go on to anyone else. Oh, wait, ignore me. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
KTM's website said that Pedro Acosta's 160 centimeters, which is 5'2", and I was like, what? He's a right short ass, but he's now taller. So that's fine. He's finally hit his growth spurt, yeah.
Good. Good. That's nice.
Yeah, and Moto2 as well. Ayagura, it was nice to see him back up until he obviously tapped
encouraging
Arbolino's bike and went down. Yeah, because he's on the Junior GP entry list for a few weeks' time. And he's going to compete in Thursday and Friday's free practice to get some seat time, I guess.
Yeah. He needs it, to be fair, considering what he's missed. Like, any time on the bike is good. And it's definitely encouraging today to see him up at the sharp end.
Because a scaphoid injury as well is not a fun one to break.
Poor guy. But then also, he's guaranteed that Honda Team Asia seat in MotoGP as well, isn't he? So
yeah, it's just he's ready for it with his broken hand,
I know, that's it. I think he's not gonna take any unnecessary risks this year, and he'll just put in his time, get more seat time, just keep working on his thing. Just probably with the knowledge that it's probably already signed, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Although Nakagami was the top finishing Honda today, wasn't he?
Yeah, which is embarrassing.
It is a little. To
be fair, 9th place is really solid for Nakagami. I think he deserves a bit more credit.
Yeah. But
yeah,
Agura's just put it in his time in Moto2 now. I think he's not going to do anything daft. He's probably already written off the title.
Yeah, I think so.
So he'll come do his thing,
just
fight for races if he feels like he can. But yeah, it was a shame. I don't really know who you class as making the mistake today that took him down. He was the rider behind. And I think it was
his front wheel hit the rear wheel of
Arbolino.
I think it's just a racing incident, to be honest.
I think it was, yeah. It was probably one of those things where he thought he'd allowed enough room, but actually he was just an inch too close, and that was it.
That's it.
It's weirdly off camber turn one as well, so you got no chance.
Every inch counts, so
certainly does.
So they say. But yeah, moving to Moto3 before we go to the predictions, because I am getting tired very fast.
I'm working
Ivan Otola with his second podium win in a row as well.
Who saw that coming?
I did not expect that. I even think I said in the podcast last week, I can't see him doing it a second time in a row.
Yeah, because you typically don't get a back-to-back winner from Kota to Europe.
After your first Grand Prix win as well.
Exactly. I'm impressed. To be fair, anyone of that top 5 could have won the Moto3 race today, as is typically the case with Moto3.
To be fair,
especially Jerez.
Top 7 were covered by 7/10 of a second.
Right. Well, top 7, and any of them could have had it.
Yeah,
really
easily. And once again, Dennis Onshu struggles and fails to impress. Again, is now being beaten by Rueda consistently and is now behind Rueda in the championship.
What's going on there?
What's going on there? I don't understand.
Something's not right.
It's like he's gone, you know what? I've gone from Tech 3 to the best team on the grid, and I don't care anymore.
That's it. It feels like there's been an attitude shift or something. Something's not the same about him.
No.
And it's affecting his results.
Maybe it's that seat, because Holgado switched with Onshu, and it's like they've swapped places in terms of how good they are.
Yeah, that's it. The team atmosphere could be totally different.
It could be
We
massive.
wouldn't really know, but that has an effect.
Because Holgado's improved dramatically on it, and Onshu seems to have gone the other way.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame, though, because you want Onshu to do well. Well, I want all of them to do well. And if you felt like this was potentially Onshu's year, Onshu or Sasaki, I think those, for me, coming into the season, those were the two that it was going to be between them for the title. And it's not happening for Onshu, is it, unfortunately?
No, it's not. It is happening for David Alonso, though, who is a rookie, may we add, and is a European Talent Cup champion in 2021. No, 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020 European Talent Cup champion. 2021, he won the Red Bull Rookies, and then did last year in the Junior GP instead of running the World Championship. And he's the youngest rider on the grid. And he got second place. He's only 17. Impressive. He was 17 3 days ago.
Very impressive.
He was 0.34 from the win, and even said in his interview, he's quite annoyed because he didn't win the race.
Quite annoyed.
I like that.
Well, that is the attitude of a champion, isn't it? It's like, no, being second by 0.03 of a second, not good enough, sorry. I should have won that one. And he was close. Yeah. He was close. If it had been a longer straight, he'd have had it, but
Yeah,
again,
20 meters more, bang, that was his.
All that stuff. Yeah.
But superb again by him. And I want to give a shout out to his ex-teammate, Filippo Fallaroli as well, who had a rocky start to the season, was way down the order, come back to Europe on a track he knows, and he got 14th. He got his first points.
Very nice.
His first points anyway. Let's triple check, because I don't want to come across as an idiot, which is what I do normally.
Yeah, he came 14th, 2 points.
Yeah, first points in the championship. Really, really good start. I think Ferroli is a mega talent. I think he's as good as the top 5 on his day.
Just needs a bit of time. Yep.
Just needs time, and it'll come good. Rider I'm disappointed by, though, Diego Moreira. Where's he gone?
Yeah, what happened there? Why is he...
Why can't he suddenly not get podiums anymore? I know Met3 is tough, but...
Well, it's not like he wasn't even in the leading group, though.
No, he was 10th. He was 4 seconds off the win.
Yep.
And he was a leader of Romano Fenati and Scott Ogden. Scott Ogden did very well in 12th, may I add.
Nice little bag of points.
Yeah, but it's just entire for Sato in 16th as well. That went unnoticed. That's excellent.
Absolutely. Ahead of Nino.
It didn't even take everybody to crash for him to get 16th. He got there on his own accord.
Yep.
25 riders finished. And he finished 16th. I was gutted for Yamanaka, though, when his bike broke.
Oh, God.
He was on for his first podium as well.
He was. I was watching it and thinking, who's this guy? Oh, it's Yamanaka. Great.
Yeah, it was a bright green freaking thing. That horrible looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good for a lot of riders there. Very impressed.
Bad for Almanza.
Yeah, I really expected him to do more. He got a podium here last year in Junior World Championships. Thought that was really good, but yeah. Also, switching back to Moto2 quickly as well, whilst we're giving rep to some riders. Very impressed with Lucas Tulovic as well. Got his first points. He's been injured for most of the year.
Yeah.
And he got a point. So very happy with that. Sergio Garcia in 11th again. Pretty impressive for a rookie. I think he's the highest rookie. Yes, he is. Yeah, superb again. He's a little he's becoming a little demon, Sergio Garcia is. I think people are underestimating actually how good he is. And yeah, I'm quite excited to see what he can do.
It's impressive. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, Rory Skinner and Zonta just seem to be having their own little championship.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're there with Guevara, basically, which, I don't know, Guevara I was expecting more from, to be honest. He was injured, though, right?
Yes, he was, yeah.
So he's maybe getting a bit of time to settle in, but yeah, no, I don't know. And then obviously, what happened to Vietti?
He crashed in the first laps. I don't know which lap, but in the opening few laps.
Yeah.
Oh,
well.
Yeah. Oh, well. Right. So if we move on to the predictions.
Yeah, go for it.
Go to bed because it's 11 o'clock at night and I want to go to bed.
Please. Yes.
We're going to be up early in the morning again. Great. So I'm not going to go through the things again for predictions on the score points. I'll just read them out as we score the points and you can work it out from there.
Okay.
So, Moto3 pole position was Onshu. I picked Sasaki and you and Lauren went Moreira, 0 points.
Unreal.
Third place, the winner was Ortola, then Alonso, then Masia. I went for Almanza, Moreira, Holgado, 0 points. Cameron went for Masia, Moreira, Rueda. You get a point because Masia was on the podium. And Lauren went for Holgado, Masia, Onshu, so she gets a point as well. So the points tallies go from you in the lead with 48, then myself with 44 and Lauren 27, to you in the lead with 49, myself in second with 44 and Lauren with 28.
Ooh, she's catching.
She is. In Moto2, Sam Lowe's on pole. None of us got that.
Nope.
I went for Costa, you went for Lopez and Lauren went Canet. Then it was Lowe's, Costa, Lopez. I went for Costa set to win, Arbolino then Canet, so I get a point for Costa. You went for Arbolino, Acosta, Lopez, so you get 10 points. Because you've got Acosta and Lopez in the right position, so 5 points each.
Well, I had Lowe's as my second choice for the win.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I should have went for it.
Yeah. And then Lauren went Arbolino, Canet, and Dixon, so scores 0. The points after that round are you with 59, myself with 45, and Lauren with 28. So you are way ahead now, 14-point lead.
But MotoGP, hold on.
Then Espargaro got pole in MotoGP. I went for Oliveira, Cameron Marini, Lauren Bagnaia. Then Binder won the sprint race. Lauren went for Cottararo. You went for the wrong KTM in Miller.
Every time. I was so close to second. Every time. Could not believe it. Oh my God.
And I went for a ballsy choice of Bastianini. And in the race, Bagnaia won. Binder second, Miller third. I went for Bagnaia to win, so I get 10 points. Bezzecchi second and Miller third, so I get an additional 5 for 15 points. You went for Vinales, then Cotaro, then Miller third, so you get 5 points.
Oh.
and Lauren went for Quartararo. So that has actually saved you, by the way. Lauren went for Quartararo, Miller second, and Vignola says she gets a point. So the tallies after this race weekend are you in the lead with 64 points.
Ooh.
Me in second with 60. So the lead has dropped only by 1 point. And Lauren in third with 29 points.
Come on, Lauren.
Yeah, sort it out, Lauren. Come on, chip.
When she joined halfway through last year, she's got an impressive tally.
And she was really cocky this year, and look at her.
I know, that's it. It just goes to show what half a year of form will do to your predictions.
Yeah.
Coming in halfway through and acting like you know everything.
That sounds like Celestino Vietti last year.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we've got time for. I'm absolutely hanging. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm very tired.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we've got time for. I'm surprised I actually got this far, to be honest.
You did very well. Well done.
Thank you, Cameron. Much appreciated.
Oh, God. You're so old. Didn't you just turn like 16?
I wish. I'm 25 now, and I just feel old.
Amazing.
But yeah, I hope everybody has enjoyed listening to this podcast. So back next weekend. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.